Hey there everyone, my name is Nicholas Ugero. This is going to be a quick video about an incident that happened to me today. I'm going to preface it actually with just things I've been learning about morality and things along those lines, and culpability when it comes to taking violence against someone or violating someone's rights or their free will. And I've been learning about order followers, and so that is police and military. And I've been learning that there's a reason why they call it a police state. That's the reason why they call the U.S. a police state. It's because it is the police that enforce the immoral laws that are enacted by our governments, and the people in power even higher than that are actually putting the whole agenda into place. And so if you look throughout history, any sort of tyrant or dictator, he didn't do all of this stuff on his own. He had people that followed him. So a perfect example would be Hitler. A lot of these military folk and the scientists and all these people that did experiments and did all this killing, they said, hey, I was just following orders. So in their minds, in their skewed mind, they said, oh, well, someone in higher authority than me told me to do something, and so I kind of threw my morals and my own conscience out the window and said, oh, okay. So then that kind of relieves me of any sort of wrongdoing or any sort of karma or guilt, when that's not the case. That's not how things work. I've been doing a lot of looking into natural law and how morality works and how karma works. And if you think about it, the people that are giving the orders, while they are still morally culpable in the whole event of maybe like war, or in the case of the Nazis, sticking with that, they still have a part to play. They still have some karma because they know what orders they're giving are bad and evil. But way more so, the karma and the guilt and the culpability goes on the order followers, because they actually went through and committed the action. They threw their own conscience out the window and their own morality out the window, and they chose to follow an order because authority told them to do so and gave them that order. They have the free will choice to not follow that order. So, in my eyes, I've lost all respect for all military and all police officers. With all these endless wars that are going on, especially in all these other countries, we don't know half of the actual details of what's going on and what's happening there. When it comes to Libya, when it comes to Yemen, when it comes to Syria, when it comes to Afghanistan and Iraq, there's a lot that we don't know about, and there's a lot that is able to be known that is completely against what the main narrative is. So I've lost all respect for them. Like, I may look at a certain individual as a human being and say, you know what, he's at least being respectful to me, I'll be respectful to him and talk to him about it, but I'm still going to say my point. And so something that I've been doing recently, against a lot of people's wishes, is whenever I see a cop, I flip them off. And so that's just me personally. I'm just doing that just to show my disdain for them and their role that they're playing in keeping their foot on the neck of us as a population. And so I've been doing it a few times since then, since I've been learning and doing all this other stuff. And yeah, it's not respectful, but to each his own. It's just what I've been doing. And so I was driving just today after work, and I was heading home, and I saw a cop. I saw a police officer. And so he was stopped at a red light. I was turning left, so I saw him. I made direct eye contact with him, and I flipped him off. And so I kind of looked back at my rearview mirror. I could see, or my side view mirror, I could see that his wheels were kind of turned. So I was like, okay, he's going to turn around, which he ended up doing 5 seconds later. And then he got right behind me, put his lights on. He pulled me over. My best friend was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You're going to get in trouble. I told you not to do this and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm doing what I think to be right. Like, he has to know that some of us don't respect him, or them in general, the police officers. And so he pulls me over, and I roll down my window. I'm like, hey, how's it going, officer? And then he's like, oh, do you have something wrong with your finger? Your middle finger? I'm like, no, I don't. I was pointing at you. He's like, yeah, I could see that. And so he was asking me for my, of course, like, I knew he was going to try his best to give me a ticket. So I was like, it's just his ego. It's a power trip. They feel like they're above us when that's not the case. We're all equals. We are all equals. We're all born with with natural rights, natural born rights that cannot be taken away by a government, by police, by military, by anybody. So I know that I have morals on my side. Yes, I flipped them off, and yes, it's disrespectful, but the police state that we're living in is not respectful to us. And yeah, they can do some good, but they're mostly just patchwork things. They don't solve root problems of things. They just react. They're reactionary. So I grabbed my license, and then I was looking for my insurance, and I had one that was like 4 years old, 5 years old, so it was pretty out of date. But I handed it to him, and I was saying that I could probably call if need be. He's like, yeah, you can try calling. And I was like, I know for a fact, though, that you guys can look it up online. And he's like, no, we can't. I was like, yes, you can. I know. I've had police officers look up my insurance online, so I know that's a fact. And so he was kind of, he seemed to be okay. I wasn't yelling at him or anything or swearing at him. I was just talking to him because I just wanted to get my point across. And so he was asking me a little bit about why I flipped him off. I'm like, oh, well, when it comes to police and the military, like I stated in the beginning of this video, you guys are just order followers. There's a reason why they call the United States a police state, because they are the ones that enforce these immoral and evil laws. There's people that are in power, and I said this to them, the people that are in power are evil. And there's a reason why things are not being solved. And so you guys have a part to play in things being the way they are. So if you, I'm not pointing that middle finger at you personally. I'm pointing it at your badge, and I'm pointing at it for what it stands for, and it's not okay. And he was okay with it, like he understood, and he was like, well, I've been respectful to you, haven't I? I'm like, yeah, and I've been respectful to you and stuff like that. And so suffice to say, he gave me a warning because there was nothing I did wrong. I even asked him when I first said, I'm like, was I wrong for doing this? Like, did I do something wrong by doing that? He's like, no, you didn't. And I even told him, like, that seems kind of egotistical. It's kind of like your ego, you know, for pulling me over. But hopefully he looked at my car, because I've been writing a bunch of stuff on my car, which I'm going to make a video about. I might actually do that right now. But I have some things on my car to help spread awareness wherever I go. When I'm driving or parked somewhere, things that people can look up and search, because I'm trying to apply my knowledge. I'm trying to do things like that. And so suffice to say, I was able to get my point across with him, and hopefully he got a good glimpse of my car and was able to write down a couple things, and is hopefully going to search some of the stuff up and hopefully wake up, because what he's getting paid with his paycheck is US dollars, which has lost 97% of his purchasing power, which means that we as individuals have to work more and more just to maintain the same level of wealth the year before, or 2 years ago, or 8 years ago. So think of it this way. I had $8,000 in my bank account in like 2010. If I had that same $8,000 today, I'd be able to buy less with it. And that seems like the exact opposite of a savings. It doesn't make any sort of sense. And it's a silent tax, and it's silently stealing our wealth away. And it's crap. It means that we are slaves. So for anyone that's out there that's in school and isn't even in the workforce yet, by the time you guys get to the workforce, you guys have to work harder than when I first started going to work and working for a living. It's not fair. It doesn't make any sort of sense. We cannot be okay with this. So we have to find alternative things that we can invest our time or invest our cash into, so we can receive these pieces of paper that are worthless in my eyes, and we can put them into things like silver, which I've kind of discussed, and I'm going to make a separate video very, very soon about that too, and prove to people that it is being manipulated and it is what it has been told it's not. They think it's just something that you collect for fun, when in fact it's not. So I'm definitely going to make another video about that. But from now on, I'm probably not going to flip off a cop. I'll probably give them a thumbs down, right to their, like, make eye contact with them, give them a thumbs down, and just shake my head at them, so they can still understand I have my disdain for them. But I'm not going to make it so aggressive to where they feel the urge with their ego and their misconceptions of reality to pull me over, and as if I'm doing something that's terrible, when in fact they're the ones that are part of the police state. And if they had true morals, they would go against a lot of what their higher superiors are doing, which will then in turn make them lose their job. But that's the risk you have to take, and that's the risk I took by flipping them off. So I'm not going to probably do that anymore. I'll probably just do the thumbs down. But hopefully you guys don't give this video a thumbs down. Hopefully you guys give it a thumbs up. But yeah, that's just a quick little story and a little bit more about my mindset and how I'm still proceeding along the lines of learning and things like that, because it's quite important continuing to learn and changing your mindset, not staying stagnant like a lot of people that I know of. And it's very sad seeing someone that's like 3 times my age and just hunkered down with the same beliefs and not changing at all, and being unwilling to look at anything else and making excuses for what they believe in and why they don't try to at least look and be open to other things. So I really appreciate if you guys watch this all the way through, and I'm going to be making sure that I make more videos and am consistent in that regard. So take care guys.